Well, hundreds of viewers have been sending in questions about the uncertainty in the job market right now, and we're working hard to answer them with facts. Joining us today, Jessica Pierce, founder and CEO of Career Connectors. Jessica, great to have you with us again.
Thank you, Tram. Great to be here.
Here's our first question for you. I just graduated with a bachelor's degree in business, but all of the jobs I'm looking at say they want previous experience. How do I get my start if every job requires past experience?
That's such a great question. I always tell recent college graduates, start with your alumni organization, your career services guidance counselors. They have a ton of connections to employers that don't require a lot of history, but also think about any clubs you've led, any other kind of work experience you think may not relate, and really think about, did you take a leadership role in any of those? Is there anything relatable about those previous jobs? And if so, put that on your resume. Volunteer work, internships, those kind of things all belong on your resume to show that your capabilities in your new career.
All right, another viewer asked this. My office has an unspoken agreement that we get annual raises, and we've been working harder than ever the last few months, but no word about raises. How do I go about bringing that up to my boss?
Well, if you have regular meetings with your boss, it is a typical conversation you can have in one of those meetings. If not, ask them to have a meeting with you, and just not in a demanding fashion, but as a conversation piece. Bring it up. I know we have been busier than ever, and but we haven't heard about raises this year, and I'm wondering if that's something that you guys are looking at and considering. So I thought I'd just bring that to your attention and see if we could have a conversation around it. So just bring it up in a gentle way, a conversational way, and they'll be able to respond to you, whether they are or not, or maybe they're putting them on hold just for this time being.
Yeah, I like that gentle way, hint, hint. All right, our last question for you. I'm applying for a graphic design job, but it's at a really big company. Should I make my resume flashy and creative or more formal?
Oh, such a good question. Here's the thing. Large companies use applicant tracking systems, and if you can't get through the applicant tracking system, then no one on the other side is going to ever see your resume. So it's very important to have a resume that can format and can be read through the applicant tracking system. So something more formal, basic, and so that without pictures and graphs and design work, and send that through the applicant tracking system. But if you have an email to somebody, send the fancy one, send the nice one, because especially if you're in design, graphic design, because they're going to want to see that. But for graphic design, you definitely will need a link to whatever portfolio you have so they can go view that as well.
All right, all excellent advice, Jessica. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Remember, we want to answer your questions, so please post them on our 12 News Facebook page or text us 602-444-1212. You can also download the 12 News app for all the facts on the coronavirus.